Ever since I was a little kid, I thought these airplanes look so cool, are so unique, and I've always wanted to fly in one. Today I'm gonna fly in one.
Definitely feel we just lost a little performance, but there's no yaw. There's nothing. No. Looking out this window right here, this is such an amazing platform for filming. Right. It makes me want one, man.
I'm Josh, a pilot and flight instructor with a passion for the sky, sharing it with those around me and using it to see the world from a new perspective. Flying can seem super complex, but I've made it my mission to showcase safe practices while enjoying the beauty this world has to offer. Subscribe to climb into the cockpit on future adventures. This is Aviation 101.
80991, Addison Ground, clear to Hotel Yankee India Airport. Via on departure, fly runway heading 66, radar vectors, show for a 9er departure.
So when we were at Oshkosh, I was approached at one of our events by a guy named Kevin. He was super nice. I got to talk to him for like 20 minutes while Chelsea was on stage giving one of her women in aviation seminars. He was super nice. We exchanged contact information and he said, hey, if you're ever out in the Southern California area, let me know. I would love to take you for a flight, or let's link up and do lunch or something. I held on to his contact. We found ourselves in California, and actually serendipitously, before I even reached out to him, he sent me an email. Back when I put out the video of Chelsea and I flying to Sedona, Arizona, when we were living in Kingman, we departed out of Kingman heading toward Sedona. I briefly showed a shot of her Cessna 150. For one reason or another, we haven't really filmed in her Cessna 150 for YouTube, like doing a travel series or anything yet. We plan to, but it is actually sitting behind me right over here with the control surfaces removed, stripped down to bare metal. She is getting her airplane repainted, stripped, repaint with an entirely new interior, back to its classic paint scheme and everything, right here at Art Craft Painting. We're actually staying here for a bit while Chelsea does some maintenance work with them, helping them make some changes, as well as do all this refurbishing to her airplane. I have been kind of like halfway looking at an airplane not to replace the Skyhawk. My dad and I love that Skyhawk. We are not getting rid of that airplane, period. I'm looking for an airplane to kind of add to the fleet, something that's going to fulfill a different mission. I've been bouncing back and forth between a lot of airframes. I'm curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments. My mission involves going at least close to 1,000 nautical miles without having to refuel. 2 people with baggage. Would really like to be in the like 150 knot plus range. I've looked at experimentals like Sling aircraft. Amazing airplanes, plus they have parachutes, which I don't care what you say about Cirrus or real pilots could land anywhere, blah, blah, blah. Airframe parachutes statistically save lives. A Cirrus would be a great airplane, a little bit out of my price range, but they're fantastic, safe airplanes, some of the safest airplanes on the market. I love them. Vans, RVs, all of them are great, but for a little more baggage area, maybe the RV-10. They just came out with the RV-15, which is basically like a Cessna 180. I've looked at like the old school Piper Aztec, not really the Apache so much. I've looked at twin Comanches. You're not really gonna perform all that well on one engine, so if I'm gonna make the jump to a twin, I should really get a twin that's gonna really be able to save you with that second engine. I've also heard that finding parts for twin Comanches can be kind of difficult, and it's not very friendly in that regard. I'm a huge fan of Moonies. It's kind of hard to go wrong with a Bonanza. I don't know. I've been all over the place. The Skyhawk is an amazing cross-country platform, great high wing for videography, photography. I'm just looking for something that's going to fulfill a little bit of a different mission, not to replace the Skyhawk by any means or stretch at all. Curious to hear your thoughts on what kind of airframes are your favorite out there. That being said, one of the airplanes that I have really looked into and I'm actually really fascinated with, it is a high wing, it is a twin, and it has phenomenal visibility from the front seats, both up and down, all the way around outside the cockpit. Very roomy inside, great useful load. It is a Cessna 337 Skymaster. I love the look of these things with the twin tail booms, with the horizontal stabilizer and the elevator across them. It's just such a unique plane.
Deputy Confirmation Romeo 1951 Zulu, wind 2905, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 26, dew point 3, altimeter 3008. They expect a visual approach, lane departing runway 30.
So we did a walk around, hopped in the airplane. I could immediately tell that Kevin is a super safe pilot because he has owned this airplane since 1993. Flies it constantly, flies regularly. He's still pulled out a checklist for starting the engine, for pre-taxi, for pre-takeoff. That was awesome to see. I love seeing checklist usage. Nobody is ever above checklist usage. It is not a student pilot crutch. That was awesome to see. We did a run-up on both engines. He explained to me that taxiing in this airplane is usually just done with the rear engine. If you think about it, you don't have that differential thrust, so you can really just taxi with one engine. They are in line.
Santa Maria Tower, Skymaster 321 Kilo Bravo, holding short of 30 at Alpha 6, ready to go.
Skymaster 1 Kilo Bravo, roger, hold short, runway 30.
321 Kilo Bravo, holding short of 30.
Turn in 71 Juliet, stay parking.
Coastal Valley for 71 Juliet.
Turn 71 Juliet, right turn there.
I just love the visibility out the side windows up here too.
So that's one thing about the Skymaster. The wings.
Skymaster 1 Kilo Bravo, runway 30 Alpha 6, clear for takeoff and same direction.
Clear for takeoff, and we're going to go to the northeast, 321 Kilo Bravo.
Skymaster 1 Kilo Bravo, roger, right turn out approved.
1 Kilo Bravo, right turn out approved. So, we always lead with the rear engine.
In terms of power.
Yeah, you just, the issues that people have had with this is that rear engine cuts out and they don't know.
Okay.
And so you always just lead with the rear, and then you put them both up like this. Airspeed's alive. Everything's in the green. Rotate here at 80. Tap the brakes. Gear coming up. Gear is up. Verified in the mirrors. Flaps coming up.
I gotta say, a little bizarre for me, but this is the first time I've left the ground in about 6 weeks.
That's got to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull the throttles back the propellers back just a little bit here. Now that we're kind of out of that area. And we'll just take it back to 26.
It is so pretty out here. I find that these hills are, getting into the vegetation up here, not so much, but these hills that just have no trees, it's just grasslands.
Right.
Especially when the sun is setting, it just looks like velvet.
Yes.
On the hills. It's the first thing I noticed when I was driving out here.
Blue dew, blue moon.
We climbed out and just went to the northeast and sort of loitered around this reservoir. We went up to 5,500 feet. It's been a little over a month since I have been in the air, and I had not been up here yet. So seeing this beautiful scenery from the window seat of a Cessna Skymaster was awesome.
Yeah.
3 Bravo Lima, runway 30, clear low approach. Traffic departing prior, beam the tower as a Cirrus right down.
You ready?
Sure.
Your plane.
All right. I got the flight controls.
You got it.
I'll just do a couple turns here. We look clear left in terms of what's on the
We are. There's
iPad here.
There's a guy above us at 1400, but he's far away.
We throttled back one engine at a time so he could show me the difference between the front engine being failed and the rear engine being failed. And we used the zero thrust settings that are in his checklist, so basically simulating the engine being feathered. So he pulled the engines back, and gosh, it goes from like performing like a Cessna 210 to a 182. It's just, there was no yaw. It's inline thrust, and that's something that I think is so nice and safe about this airplane.
Wow, it is pretty out here.
So anyway, it's just
a Cessna.
People like them or they hate them, right? It's
That's interesting. So what would be some reasons that people would hate these airplanes that you've, as an owner, that you have noticed?
they don't look like a real twin.
Or they don't provide the same dangers as a real twin, so thus
Right.
you're not a real twin pilot or something like that?
You want to do a little single engine action?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
You said the rear performs a little bit better.
Okay, so let's fail the front one.
Yeah.
So this says simulated inoperative engine, propeller control at full throttle to give you a propeller RPM of 2200.
ML3 Bravo Lima is going to start our
Pull the front throttle back.
10 Marcus VR. Thank you so much for your help today.
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And they're east
I'm going to put this up.
1,000.
I'm going to pull this back even more.
Yeah, this handles so nicely. I mean, I'm not touching the controls anywhere.
So you're at 100 knots. Blue line's, you're a little over 100. Blue line's at 90.
Okay.
About inline thrust, which is unique about this airplane, I will add that if you get your multi-engine training and check ride done in a Cessna Skymaster, you will have a limit on your multi-engine rating. It's a limitation that goes on your certificate that says limited to centerline thrust, which means you can basically only fly an airplane that has its multiple engines in one line. They are centerline thrust. I got my multi-engine rating in a Piper Seneca. It's got engines out on the wings. With that conventional multi-engine rating, I can go fly a Cessna Skymaster. But if I got my rating in a Cessna Skymaster, I would not be able to hop in something like a Piper Seneca. So there is that centerline thrust nuance. But if you have a multi-engine rating that does not have that centerline thrust limitation on it, then you are legal to fly a Cessna Skymaster. Of course, after getting some transition training from an instructor and whatnot. On the subject of training, I want to briefly touch on the topic of enunciators and warning devices like the gear horn you hear blaring in the background. The beeping you're hearing is an alarm that sounds in most airplanes with retractable landing gear to warn the pilot that the gear is still retracted. In this airplane, it happens when the throttle on either engine is reduced below a certain setting, basically to keep you from forgetting the landing gear if you're throttling back for landing. It's a last resort warning if you're so sloppy as to not run your checklist. Sometimes extending the flaps while the gear is still up will do the same thing, it just depends on the airplane. We're of course throttling back an engine on purpose to simulate an engine failure, and we only flew in this condition for a couple of minutes on each engine. Kevin and I talked about this topic in the plane, but I'll spare you the beeping and sum it up. You really shouldn't casually fly with any enunciators perpetually blinking or beeping. Enunciators are designed to get the pilot's attention. In the instance of training, sometimes it's unavoidable and you have to fly around for a few minutes with some sort of enunciator going off. After all, that is the point of training, right? To practice abnormal scenarios. To the instructors out there, I recommend limiting the amount of time, if at all possible, that you're chronically exposing your student to enunciators. You don't want their eyes and ears to become numb to those abnormalities. Set an example to acknowledge enunciators when they come up, see what it's all about, address the issue, and clear it. To pilots out there flying in your own aircraft, don't accept a blinking light or quote MSG on your avionics, which means message, as normal. Find out why that enunciator is trying to get your attention, resolve the issue, and fly with a clean panel. Just like driving in your car with the tire light blinking and the check engine light blinking, you may not have noticed that your low oil pressure light just came on, or your low fuel light is now blinking. If your eyes have gotten used to dismissing those enunciators on your dash, you'll be numb to noticing an abnormality when it really matters. It's like a boy who cried wolf scenario. The moral of this tangent is don't pass it off as acceptable to fly your bird with any enunciators perpetually blinking or beeping. If a message pops up on your avionics, your engine monitor, flight display, or whatever, open it as soon as practical, read it, address it if needed, and clear it. If an alarm goes off, address it and clear it. Professional airline pilots don't fly around with enunciators blinking and beeping in their face the whole flight, and there's good reasoning for that.
Let's drop to 4,500 since we're
Yeah, good call.
headed to the west now.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Power set where you think is good for that?
Yeah, I'm just dropping to 20 and
Okay.
point the nose down. It'll be fine.
Center retire information, Sierra 2051 Zulu. Wind 300 at 11, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 27, 2.1, altimeter 3006. Visual approach, runway 30 in use, no TAM. Taxiway Alpha 7, Alpha 8 Victor, Whiskey.
Right over the
Alpha
ridge.
southeast of uniform close. Advise on contact.
Okay, we got Sierra. Oh yeah. I'm gonna call Santa Maria Tower, tell them
Yeah.
where I'm about. We're about east, I don't know, 15 miles?
Yeah, I think we're about, let's see, 10 miles.
Okay. Santa Maria Tower, Skymaster 321 Kilo Bravo, 10 miles to the east for landing with Sierra.
Skymaster 321 Kilo Bravo, Center retire at a right base, runway 30, report 3 miles.
Right base 30, report 3 miles, 321 Kilo Bravo. Yeah, and I'm just gonna pull this back. Like I said, I baby these engines
Oh yeah,
since I pay for them.
right. Elevation's 261 feet.
Right. If we turn final at 500 feet above that, we should be about 750. Gear speed on this is 140. It's hard on the gear if you do it that fast.
You like to be a little slower, like 120? Or...
Yeah.
And this gear, is it electric?
So, I'm going to put the first notch of flaps in here.
Okay.
It's a electrically powered hydraulic motor.
Skymaster 1 Kilo Bravo, runway 30, clear land.
Clear to land 30, 321 Kilo Bravo. All right, I'll take it from here.
You have flight controls.
Okay, I'm going to increase I'm going to drop the gear here.
All right, and we are clear to land.
We are indeed.
Gears down with a green.
Yeah, I'm a little high, whatever. Not really, I can see 2 reds.
Yeah, I see 2 reds. 2 reds, 2 whites.
Okay, gas is on the main undercarriage is down and locked, confirmed. Mixture and the props to go. I'm ready to go around anytime. I think we can officially declare that runway made.
I would say so. Beautiful.
Skymaster 1 Kilo Bravo, turn right Alpha 5, taxi parking via Alpha, monitor ground.
Alpha 5, Alpha monitor ground, 1 Kilo Bravo. Okay, I am now clear. This up. Open these. Now I'm taxiing on the rear engine.
And I love how you come to a full stop past the line before you start doing all that stuff.
Oh, I don't play with any of that nonsense.
Especially because your cow flap switches are quite literally right next to the gear.
Yeah, no, I don't play.
Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming down here to to get my butt in the air and just experience a different airplane too, and a different pilot. I really appreciate
But see,
that.
that's the thing. If you're so used to the 150 and then the Skyhawk, you don't get a chance to grab the yoke on a different plane. It's a whole different experience.
Oh yeah, and this is certainly a new one for sure.
It was an absolutely beautiful day to fly. Clear blue skies out here, a little bit of turbulence over the mountains, but my goodness, the views were super gorgeous. I actually have my Nissan Xterra here with us with the rooftop tent, and I scoped out a few potential overlanding spots back there in the mountains that I think Chelsea and I should try out. But awesome day to fly. Thank you to Kevin for coming out here to just take me for a flight. I really appreciate his support of the content, and I appreciate all of y'all's support of the content. Again, my mission here is to showcase safe practices, share little teaching moments and tidbits of knowledge while enjoying the beauty this world has to offer through the lens of a camera from the window seat of a general aviation aircraft. Awesome day to fly. I got to check a very unique airplane off my list of airframes to fly at some point. Kevin has an absolutely beautiful Cessna Skymaster. Not gonna lie, I will probably be hopping on Trade-A-Plane, Barnstormers, Controller, etc. tonight to take another look at the ones that are out there for sale, and probably some other airplanes, and continue my hunt for some sort of a cross-country platform, some sort of cross-country airplane that will be able to open the door to new missions for me, as well as new challenges, and of course, new content. General aviation, I love it. Again, I'm curious to hear your feedback on your preferred cross-country airframes down in the comments. Be sure to give this video a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future episodes. And until next time, everyone, you know the drill. I want you to stay happy, healthy, current, but most importantly, stay proficient. Get out there and fly with your fellow aviators, be the safest pilot you can be, and let's all get back home to our families at the end of the day. We'll see you in the next episode right here on Aviation 101. Fly safe.